And also in terms of someone like Darwin Nunez, who hasn't quite been spot on with his finishing. I think Robbie Fowler said maybe he'll never be quite what Liverpool fans want him to be. Do you think Arne Slot might try him through the middle? I think he scored a hat-trick for Uruguay the other day against Mexico through the middle. He's mainly been played out wide. What do you think the future holds for him at Liverpool?
I think it would be crazy to let him go. I think he's got more to come. I kind of agree with Robbie. I'm not sure he's ever going to be Luis Suarez or those type of numbers, or he might never be a Robbie Fowler in terms of an out-and-out goal scorer, but he can do. I mean, if you look at this season, I think I can't remember the exact number, but he hit the woodwork more times than anyone else.
Yeah.
You only need 60-70% of those to start going in and being a bit more calm with those finishes. And he's starting to hit the numbers that you expect for a striker. Yeah. Brilliant physically, never lets himself get down or his head drop, which is a wonderful attribute. Mm-hmm. And he's a nightmare to play against because he always gets in. He can out-jump you, he can outrun you. And the other thing is as well, I mean, if you were a manager coming in and decided you wanted to bring a striker of your own, you're going to do really well to find one better.
Yes, true. Very good point.
And he has got room to improve. So he doesn't need to become Haaland. He just needs to improve a little bit, 15%. And all of a sudden you've got a hell of a player. Liverpool are blessed at the moment in forward areas. They don't need a striker to score 30 goals if Salah's still there. They need all of their forward. Jota, he'll always get you goals. Luis Diaz, get you goals. I mean, they've got 4 or 5.
Cody Gakpo still chips in.
Gakpo's another one. He can get, double figures again.
Yeah.
So I think the question arises more, what do you do if Salah decides to go? How do you replace those numbers?
Yeah, I think Liverpool have been linked with Federico Chiesa, haven't they? But I think Chelsea are after him too. Do you think they're eyeing him up as, I'm not sure exactly what position he plays, but he is on the wing. So they're thinking in terms of if Salah does leave, he's only got a year left, right? So where do they go?
Well, Chiesa had that really bad injury, didn't he, a couple of years ago? And just before then, he was looking a world beater with his pace and his directness. And coming off that right side, he can play off the left, but coming off that right side, he is a talent. But there's a lot of good forward players out there. I think Liverpool will have a plan in place, I'm sure, if Salah does decide to go, to replace him. But it doesn't matter who you replace Salah with. There won't be anybody else in world football, really, that I can think of who can play on the right side and score the goals Salah does. So you'd be looking at bringing someone in who can score goals, but you're not going to get the same numbers as Salah.
Yeah. So in terms of Van Dijk, I think it's very hard to see him leaving the club, though. Would you say? I can't see why he would.
I hope that's right. I think you're probably right. It depends what options he had, I suppose. I mean, if Real Madrid were to come calling, then you're always worried about any player. We've seen it over the years. If Real Madrid tend to want someone, they do end up going generally, which is a concern. But they seem to have put their eggs in other baskets maybe this season financially. So, obviously the outlay for Mbappe, I know he's on a free, but his wages and stuff. So I would love to see. I personally think Virgil's the most important one. That's not belittling Trent. I think Trent, being a Scouser and a local lad, he'll be desperate to stay and get a new contract sorted anyway. Virgil probably only got one big contract left. Maybe, we don't know. He's not a Scouser, he's not a local. So just because Liverpool supporters or people who've played for the club like myself would have stayed there their whole career doesn't mean he has necessarily that ambition. Yeah. I hope he has, and I think he's crucial to Liverpool in the next few years, but we just don't know. So that's we're going to have to wait and see. I think it will definitely help having a Dutch manager.
That's true. Yeah, good point.
I think it's just logically, if you're bringing in a manager who's of the same nationality, makes life easier. And I'm not suggesting that's the only reason he'd stay, but I think he's happy at Liverpool. He's loved. He's adored.
Yeah.
And as long as he feels they can be competitive, yeah, why would you go? But the Real Madrid issue is always there for every player.